烦。
那你认为变得就有很多钱，是不是很重要的事情？
不是。
那什么是最重要的呢？
身体健康咯。
工资因为有限嘛，然后呢，现在那些物价上涨了，就很多东西都上涨，那些钱都多了。然后在我上学那学费之间，就是用了很多，应该是说他们都花在我身上会比较多一点。我搬过来已经有10年都快了。然后在最近附近的这些环境呢都改变了很多。然后因为经济发达了嘛，然后就很多是需要建设用地，然后全部都用来去建高大的房子了。有好有坏吧。因为好是因为经济上是的确繁荣了很多，可是少了很多种树的地方。就是那环境来说的话，就比较污染，空气就会更大了，人就更多了，然后就那些都是趋向于很多都是经济发展需要，然后就可能就忽略了少部分那些环境上的保护啊。
At Rio, there was a vision for a much better future, a more equal future, a future with more jobs, with clean water, with education, with climate change being addressed. The scorecard since then has been mixed. In some areas we've made a lot of progress. Girls' education, fundamentally better today and more equal than it was. Water supply is better. Certain kinds of pollution have improved a lot. Particulate emissions have improved. Lead is no longer in gasoline, so the brains of children in low-income cities are not being damaged the way they were. Poverty has been reduced in these last 20 years, possibly more than any other 2 decades in history. So, not total failure, but we have not really grasped the fundamental issue that Rio is dealing with, which is we live in a world that has limits, and we need to respect them.
ஸ்கூல் போறதுங்கிறது ரொம்ப முக்கியமான காரியமா?
ஆமா.
ஏன்?
படிச்சு டாக்டர் ஆகி மக்களுக்கு நான் உதவி செய்வேன்.
பஞ்சாரத்தை நான் 5ஓட நிப்பாட்டுன்னு பார்த்தேன். அந்த புள்ள தான் சரி நான் ஒரு 7-8 வரைய படிக்கிறேம்மா, என்னை படிக்க போடுங்க கஷ்டப்பட்டு நான்
10 வரை படிக்க போட்டதே நான் வேலைக்கு பள்ளிக்கூடம் போயிட்டு வந்து வீட்டில் வேலை செஞ்சு அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் படிக்க போட்டாங்க. வீட்டில் கஷ்டம்தான், படிக்க போட முடியல, நிப்பாட்டிட்டாங்க. நான் படிக்கணும்னு தான் சொன்னேன், வீட்டில் வேண்டான்ட்டாங்க. வருஷம் வந்திருந்தாலும் படிக்க போட்டிருக்கலாம், படிச்சிருப்பேன், நான் நிறைய படிச்சிருக்கலாம். வராதனால கெட்டி கொடுத்துட்டாங்க. அவங்க 2 பேரும் நல்லா படிக்கணும்னு நான் நினைக்கிறேன். அவங்க வேலை செஞ்சு படிக்க போடுறாங்க. அவங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது உதவி பண்ணி அவங்க 2 பேர்த்த படிக்க போடணும்.
அதை வச்சு என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க, எப்படி படிக்க வைப்பீங்க, என்னென்ன படிக்க வைக்கலான்னு இருக்கீங்க அப்படின்ற விஷயத்தை சொன்னேன்.
ஏதாவது படிக்க வைக்கணும், இன்ஜினியரு ஏதாவது நிறையா படிக்க வைக்கணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
It's vitally important we address poverty frontally, that we understand its many causes, the inequities, the social dimensions, the gender biases and so on, and the lack of access to endowments, to education, to financial resources. We need to take that on frontally.
Four.
Cool. And what do you like doing, Justin?
Playing games. If there was everybody in the world had money and lots of money, then I don't think that would steal. A friend doesn't have to be the proper color for you. It can be any, as long as he's a true friend. They'll always help you, play with you. Yeah, doesn't matter what color it is for me. My best friend is Saki Siswe.
Well, now I'm studying at the University of Cape Town. I'm a Bachelor of Arts degree in English Literature, Classical Literature and Philosophy. What are you studying, Ken?
Producing and screen acting.
Yeah.
How to make films, basically. We can see that we are trying to move forward. We are trying to help each other to move forward, no matter what race. So that's when we start seeing the races starting to work together to try and build a unified country, to try and move on so that racial issues don't become an issue anymore, so that we can all be on the same level in the future. It'll take time, it'll obviously take time. A lot of white people struggle today to make it.
Struggle with young white people.
Exactly.
Young white
people, so that's why.
We have real support from their families though, if they're struggling, to carry them through. You can always work in your daddy's business. If you don't get a job, you can always just go to your dad's business if you're white, or to your family's business that's been carried down and passed through the generations.
When you're younger, you hear, oh yeah, Rainbow Nation, yeah, we all together in this, we all unified. But when you grow older, you start listening and understanding what the politicians are telling you.
You're more dependent on the government if you're working class or lower class. So, and that's why the government is giving out subsidies and grants for the people. But people don't want subsidies and grants anymore because it's not enough. It's not enough to live on. They want jobs.
I would urge the young people not to look at an Earth Summit to change the way their governments do business. Rather, I would urge them to engage themselves. If one looks at the countries that have seen the most progress on environmental and social issues, it is countries in which citizens' voices have been heard. So I would encourage these young people not to have expectations that are too high about the Rio +20, although we certainly hope that makes good progress, but rather to engage, to urge their own governments, and urge their governments not only to change the way they do business perhaps within their own countries, but also then to engage with other countries to get onto a more virtuous cycle. Those delegates that are turning up to the Rio +20 event have a very, very big responsibility, and it's vital that they go there not with a political lens trying to score points off each other, but rather with the lens of the poor person in whatever country they come from. Because that person, female or male, boy or girl, old person, young person, they depend upon the international context, the global economy, the rules of the game that are set globally as well as locally in order to give them the future they deserve.
Hebu niambie zile mashida wanazamwambia.
Sita na njaa.
Alafu hawa watu, kuna hawa watu wanaiba ng'ombe hawa. Unawapenda?
Sana.
Baba yetu alianza kututupa skuli, alipata ule mwanamke watatu. Sasa venye wamepatana huyo mwanamke ujue mamangu tena na huyo mamangu mwingine. Sasa wakaanza kukosana, sasa ile ugomvi sasa ikatoka hapo baina yao. Sasa wakaanza kukosana, hata babangu akuja hapa, mamangu anamwambianga asikuje kwake, aende kwa ule mwanamke ule mwingine. Mama sasa ile kunichapa moja, nikasema sasa nikirudi tena atakuwa labda atanifanyia maneno mabaya, sasa nikatorokanga na nitafutanga. Mara naenda kitu kama Meru hivi na marafiki yangu huko. Tunaishi nao huko, tukarudi baada ya miaka moja hivi na kitu. Tukarudi saa huko hapa hivi Sela. Huko.
They walk around. Good. Come good.
Ningependa kuwa mwakili kwa sababu yani niendeleshe, niweza pata mshahara mzuri, iko na pesa mzuri, niweza treat watu yani kiaki, yani ile hakuna corruption hapo hiyo.
Africa is now growing faster than ever. It's growing at 7%. So we need to get the growth. We need to get the job opportunities. The young people that this film has been looking at 20 years on, they rightly, understandably are thinking about their futures, their jobs, their education. We need to give those. It's only if we meet those needs that we will also then be able to address the needs of the forests, the biodiversity, the carbon emissions, the beauty or lack of beauty in the cities. We want a world in which every human being can live up to their full potential. And that means that they have an education system without bias or favor towards gender or ethnic background. We want cities that are livable. We want farming systems that are sustainable and generate food security. We want forests that are protected. We want to hand over a world to our children and their children that is just as rich in terms of its diversity, just as pure in terms of the water and the air, and preferably a lot purer than the world that we inherited.